Yeah, I just wanted to add this extra part to the video. Some of you may be wondering, why would they make such an ultimatum like that? Why would they come to my kid's mother who was staying in their house? Why would my cousins and probably my aunt, knowing about this, come to my kid's mother while I was at work and make an ultimatum saying, well, if you let us put him out and you don't, you know, go against it, you don't argue about it, we'll let you stay as long as you want us, as long as you let us put him out and let him go on about his business. You're probably wondering why they would do this. And a couple of scenarios I can come up with is, one, they wanted me and my kid's mother to lose contact and to make sure that this happens before the baby is born so that they can be the only influence over the baby and replace me as the influence. And so probably so they could mistreat it as it grows up. There's no telling that they would have let her stay there months or a year, as long as they could get rid of me and she didn't protest against it, and have so they could have influence over that baby. Why do I think this? Because women down there are very similar, okay? Why would I think that they would be willing to put me out and then, as long as she allows it, to let her stay a couple of months to even a year or more while raising the baby there so they could be an influence? Here's a good one for you. Because years later after that, in 2011, when my kid's mother, who was living with me, left me to go and stay with her mother again, she took my kids down there when they were toddlers, and my kid's mother was having issues, and I think she gets it from her mother, to be honest. Well, guess what happened in February of 2011 or January of 2011 when she went back down there again to stay with her mother, and this time her mother didn't kick her out. I guess because she had the kids with her. I don't know. Maybe she wasn't ready to do it yet. So what happened was I got these harassing calls from my kid's mother, just calling me and hanging up, all the way from down there, calling me and hanging up. And I could just tell it was her. But then I got some calls from her mother in the same house while she was down there in her mother's house. She's calling up here all the way 1,000 miles up here. She's letting her mother call my phone and harass me while she's drunk. So here it comes. Why did I think that my family would let her stay there without me and try to be the influence as raise and try to be a bad influence while raising my daughter to be? Because the mother, years later, when my kid's mother brought the kids to stay at her house, she calls me drunk and she says, I got your kids now and you can't do nothing about it. That's what she said. That's what she said. So the same mother that kicked out her own daughter twice while she was pregnant, almost caused her to lose the baby through all this stress, all my family was doing to her. My kid's mother, being the stupid bitch that she is, that is always friends with enemies in my family and hers. Well, pretty much hers. Anybody that's in her family is my enemy. She's always getting along with because she's a dumb bitch. She goes back to agree to stay with her mother and got her mother call me while she's drunk talking about, I got your kids now and all of this. And it's like, wait, you bragging about how you're their grandmother and you have a right to see them and you got my kids. But aren't you the same one that tried to almost get your daughter to lose her first daughter? And you know your daughter stole the wallet to feed the unborn baby, and now you're bragging about how you got access to the kids. So that's why I believe that my cousins made the ultimatum to her to get rid of me so they could be an influence while the child grows up. That's what I believe. And then later on, her mother, being their grandmother, tried to do the same shit that the first ones were doing. The other scenario I'm thinking about why my cousins made that ultimatum to her about as long as she let them put me out and don't protest it, is because they were hoping that if I went on about my business and was homeless long enough, then maybe if something happened to me and I die, then they can make sure that the kids don't have a father. Yeah, that's you think blood won't do that? You think blood won't do that to blood? You think my cousins wouldn't do something like that to me? To like make me homeless and hope something happened to me and I die so that the kids will grow up without a father, or that I'll have to end up coming back up here and be in a whole nother state and that me and the mother will not only lose contact, and me and the kid will never see each other, but I'll be so far away that I will have no influence, and it'll be hard for me to come back down there because I'd have to move down there. Yeah, this is how women do that love harder. This is exactly how they do. And some of you that's listening right now, you know your family's like this. And for the ones that's listening that's been through some things and you may doubt whether some people are capable of it, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter if it's your cousin, your mother, your daughter, your niece, your aunt. Bruh. It's some of y'all black women that are listening. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know that they will do this to you, and y'all got stories of your own. And I was just talking to my grandmother about this a couple of days ago. I said about the thing about it, when things happen to y'all, plenty of black women don't want to own up to this. They only talk about what men do. But plenty of y'all have had some messed up things happen to you at the hands of some female relatives. And I told my grandmother that a lot of women, y'all problem is y'all take secrets to the grave. Listen to what I'm saying very carefully. Y'all need to stop doing that. Okay? In the black community, we need to stop doing that. We need to stop taking traumatic events and certain things that change our lives forever, and certain things that are the reason why we have some of the issues that we have, especially if it's mentally. We need to stop taking the history of abuse and really bad things that happen to us, no matter when it is, especially childhood and adolescent and teenage traumas. We need to stop doing that. Stop taking this shit to the grave, especially the women. I know you got some really fucked up stories. I know that. And I know that some of them are at the hands of men and some of them are at the hands of women, and some of the stories at the hands of women are really, really fucked up. I know some. And you think I'm the only one that's got these stories that I know of? I know of other people in my family that got some fucked up stories. I got one for you. How about somebody that allowed a man to come in and rape her daughters while she took pictures of it? While the brother was in the other room at 8 years old and didn't know what the hell was going on the whole time and thinking that this was just a family friend. Right. Yeah. So we need to stop taking trauma to the grave. Even if you just have to talk about it on the internet, maybe that can be one of your forms of therapy. And hell, like, God knows we need it. Oh my God. God knows we need any form of an outlet to talk about this and to stop taking shit to the grave and acting like it didn't happen. We're expected to hold stuff in, especially in the black community. We're expected to hold what you know that saying with the mothers and the aunts, what goes on in my house stays in my house? Not anymore. That's what you need to say to yourself. No more. No more. The good thing is, some of the people that I'm going to be talking about and the people that I've already mentioned, I get to tell my story. Do you know how long it took me to talk about this shit, especially the shit that happened down there with the two sets of people I mentioned? You know how long it took me to start talking about it, even to one person? 20 years. I'm not lying. 20 years it took me to tell anybody about that. While they went around telling lies on me all the way from down there, all the way to 1,000 miles, got my father to stop talking to me because of the lies they told on me. I never said a word about what they did for 20 years. That goes to show you what type of person I am. I was very nice to them down there. I did stuff to fix things in their house. I tried to be respectful. I used to curse like a fucking sailor, like the way I do right now, but much worse. When I was 21 and when I went down into my cousin's house, I didn't say one cuss word in their house. Until I got so tired of them one day in the abuse that I did curse out one of my cousins. And it wasn't even that bad. I could have went way raw. I could have went raw on their ass. And I tried to hold back. I'm a reasonable, logical person, but don't push me. Do not push me, okay? Especially now. So this is why it's best for us to talk about these things and get it out in the open. It helps. Take it from somebody who knows, okay? Or you'll spend the rest of your life hating these people. And it's not good. It's not good. The thoughts that, yeah, the black community needs to stop holding this stuff, and we need to stop that bullshit. That's a lot of the ways a lot of us are fucked up right now with the things that we see going on and with other blacks in our family and other black people. Because we're supposed to hold it in and not talk about it because we don't want to hurt people's feelings or we don't want to burn bridges. Burn every single one of those motherfuckers. Burn them down. That's what I say. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk more about this stuff later.